Let's start off this video with a question. What is the worst possible injury an MLB player can suffer, and that is quite frequent to have? A few common injuries for pitchers are sprains and strains in their legs, arms, and back. But Tommy John surgery is one of the worst injuries an MLB pitcher can suffer that can change the entirety of a player's career. According to the Massachusetts General Hospital, Tommy John surgery is a procedure where the ulnar collateral ligament in the medial elbow is replaced with a tendon from elsewhere in the body. This surgery is typically caused by UCL tears and can happen due to ligament overuse. The average recovery time for an MLB pitcher when having Tommy John surgery is at least 1 year. But that's not even the worst part. The time it takes for pitchers to have the same velocity, accuracy, and action on the ball before getting injured takes even longer. The point is, Tommy John surgery is one of the more extreme injuries a pitcher can suffer. Well, what if I told you there was an MLB player with a record for the most Tommy John surgeries done in a single career? Hung-Chih was supposed to be a relatively strong asset for the Los Angeles Dodgers. He was supposed to have a long career with full of great moments. But because of Tommy John surgery, his career was cut down and he only lasted 7 years in the league. This is how Hung-Chih broke the record for having the most Tommy John surgeries done to a single MLB player. Hung-Chih signed with the Los Angeles Dodgers in 1999 for over $1 million. He started in the minor leagues and his career already took a huge hit. In his first minor league season, Hung-Chih suffered a UCL injury and was forced to have Tommy John surgery. He was 18 years old when this happened. Think about that for a second. At 18, he already had one of the biggest surgeries in baseball done on him. While this was a big injury, people were not too concerned. Seemed to have been making exquisite progress during his rehab, meaning he was bound to return sooner rather than later. But just when you thought things could not get worse, they did. He suffered another injury and had to have Tommy John surgery on him again. 2 surgeries in 1 year. And not like a quick surgery. I'm talking 2 impactful surgeries that can ruin a pitcher's career. It took a while, but was back on the field in the minor leagues in 2001. He barely played though, as he tried to recover from his second injury. It wasn't too problematic though because the man was 20 years old at the time, so he had enough time to progress and improve. Just a quick reminder before we continue. He is 3 years into his baseball career and has only started in 14 games. To put it into perspective, he was playing in Single A, where they play 132 games in a season. If he has only played 14 games in 3 seasons, Hung-Chih has missed approximately 96% of baseball games for 3 years. Of course, as a pitcher, you do not pitch every day, but that does not exclude the fact he was not active for so long. And just when you thought things could not get worse, they did. In 2003, Hung-Chih suffered 2 more injuries. And guess what? He had to have, once again, just like in 2000, 2 Tommy John surgeries done. He had 4 Tommy John surgeries that occurred in 2 years. That is unbelievable. The fact the man found a way to recover quick enough just to get injured again is crazy. I am sure was already thinking that he might have had to put up the cleats at this point in his career. I mean, I would. If I had surgery on my arm 4 times in 2 years, I would have probably given up in hopes of not tearing anything again. But was not thinking like how I would have thought. Pushed through the pain and worked hard to get back on the field and stay there for good. Luckily, 2003 was his final year for a while where was done with Tommy John surgery. Soon he could finally prove to the Dodgers organization what he could do. In 2005, he posted a 1.99 ERA in 28 appearances, 3 of those being starts. He pitched so well that season that the Dodgers decided it was time to put him in action. He was called up to the major leagues from Double-A. He had 9 appearances where he posted a 6.75 ERA. So not great, but he just started his career, and many injuries happened during the minors. The first couple years of MLB career were pretty tough. In 2006, he had 28 appearances where he posted a 4.22 ERA. Then in 2007, he suffered another injury. But don't worry, it was not Tommy John. I did some research and could not find out what exactly it was, but he missed a few months of ball. When he returned, he had 8 appearances and posted a 7.42 ERA. A fun fact about this season for Kuo was he hit a home run and became the first Taiwanese baseball player to homer. This was a big deal considering he did this as a pitcher. After a couple of poor seasons, Kuo's career finally turned around in 2008 and he balled out. He went 5-3 with a 2.14 ERA in 42 appearances and had 96 strikeouts. If Most Improved Player of the Year was an award in baseball, I wouldn't be surprised if he was a runner-up to winning. He finally proved to the league why the Dodgers signed him and why he was here to stay in Major League Baseball. But wait, it gets better. In 2009, Kuo had another great season. He went 2-0 with a 3.0 ERA in 35 appearances with 32 strikeouts, which is also really good. His career was getting better and better every season. Soon enough, he was going to make it on the All-Star team, right? Well, that's exactly what happened in 2010. That season, Kuo had by far the best year of his career. He went 3-2 with a 1.20 ERA in 56 appearances with 73 strikeouts, earning him a spot on the 2010 National League team's roster. Not only was it great to see Kuo putting up all-star stats, but it was also the fact the man was healthy and he was consistent. He wasn't missing a large portion of the season anymore. Now he was actually playing and was present with the team. As great as this was, all good times come to an end, and 2011 was Kuo's final year in the big leagues. Kuo would have another one of those poor seasons as he had a 9.0 ERA in 27 innings pitched. After 2011, his contract with LA was up, and he would not return with them. Not only that, but he suffered yet another UCL injury, and yes, you guessed it, had to have his 5th Tommy John surgery, which is unreal to say the least, and it definitely affected his career. He would bounce around season after season on minor league teams. He signed a one-year deal with the Seattle Mariners in 2012, but was cut before the season started. He would then sign a minor league contract with the Chicago Cubs in June, just to be cut off the team in July. 2017 was his last season on a minor league team as he signed with the Padres, but was sadly cut in March. He would play a season of ball in the CPBL in 2017, but his baseball career was officially over after he was eliminated in the playoffs. He announced his retirement on October 22, 2018, marking the end to a tough career. Kuo could have had a much simpler career, one that did not consist of injuries and having to work 10 times harder to prove to the league why he was a good player. Unfortunately, his UCL was weak, very weak, and because of that, we were never able to see a full career of a prime Hung-Chih Kuo. Nevertheless, if there was one thing we could take out of his story, it's his dedication. The man kept working harder and harder to last a little longer in the league. That kind of dedication shows you how much of a passion baseball was for Hung-Chih Kuo.